Nice. The factory pattern. This usually happens when you are trying to render multiple components and you don't know what needs to be rendered inside the page. You don't have access to all the data beforehand. It comes from an API, for example. So you create a factory component that you delegate all of this logic to a factory component. For example, this is where we use it most recently in the store page. All of our store page is backend driven designed. So the API is sending all the information that needs to be rendered here, including the order and stuff like that. Why did we do this? First of all, because we're sharing the same API with the apps. And it's very important if you need to change something in the store page you don't need to do it in 3 different places and wait for 3 different deploys. So if we wanted to change the order of the search with the banner, we just do it in the admin and it's propagated across all 3 apps at once. This is the response we're getting from the backend. It's a little scary at first. We're getting the elements there are all the elements that are rendered, and based on the type of it, we decide which component to render. This is how we use it in the page. Basically, we're using this is the component we created, an element factory. It loops through all the elements and it passes the data as props, and it's using the type to verify it. Inside of it, it's taking advantage of the Vue component utility, and it renders exactly the component that it needs based on its type. And in case there's an error, it renders a default element. This is very good because we can use it recursively. So inside the component, we can have, again, this element factory that loops through all the elements and renders what's needed. And here is the mapper that has all the components that we have that the store page can render. So we have a collection title, a carousel, a grid, the image list, search, and so on.